Party virtual meet to discuss situation along India-China border. Presidents of various political parties to take part in the meeting. PM Modi addresses birth centenary celebrations of Acharya Shri Mahapragya. Praises the spiritual leader, says he always followed the path of non-violence. Calls himself fortunate as he had a chance to meet the Acharya in person. Rajya Sabha election for 19 seats of 8 states underway with special arrangements in view of the coronavirus pandemic. 5 members, including 1 from Arunachal Pradesh and 4 from Karnataka, elected unopposed. Major breakthrough for security forces in Jammu and Kashmir. 8 terrorists killed in last 24 hours in southern region of Kashmir. 2 terrorists trapped at Meej, Pampore. 5 terrorists killed in Shopia. Recovery rate from COVID-19 in India, almost 53%. Active cases stand at 1,63,248. Death toll worldwide climbs to over 4,54,000. Number of infected spikes over 84,91,000. Hello and welcome to this edition of the news. I'm Rukma in our top story. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has convened an all-party meeting at 5 this evening to discuss the situation along the India-China border. In a tweet, the PMO said the virtual meeting will be attended by presidents of various political parties. The meeting assumes significance in the wake of the recent violent face-off between Indian and Chinese troops in the Galwan Valley in eastern Ladakh. 20 soldiers of the Indian Army were martyred. Prime Minister Modi has said that the sacrifice of the martyred soldiers will not go in vain. In a strong message to China, the Prime Minister also said that India wants peace, but if provoked, a befitting reply will also be given. Joining us now is our correspondent Arun Sharma for more details on the proposed on the all-party meeting convened by the Prime Minister. Well, Arun, first and foremost, the Prime Minister has made it clear that India will give a befitting reply if provoked, even as India is a country that wants peace with her neighbors. At this point, as you mentioned earlier, all parties are with the government when it comes to the issue of the face-off with China. What can we expect in terms of announcements in the all-party meeting this evening?
Well, Rukma, it's a significant meeting which Prime Minister Narendra Modi has convened today. It's an all-party meeting whereby presidents and chief of various political parties, opposition parties will be participating in this meet. We should not forget this fact that day before yesterday, Prime Minister Narendra Modi assured 130 crore Indians by giving a strong message that the sacrifices of our Jawans who sacrificed their life will not go in vain. So the message is very much loud and clear that India will not compromise as far as its sovereignty and integrity are concerned. So in a similar way today, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the way day before yesterday, Prime Minister Narendra Modi assured 130 crore Indians. Today, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be again assuring the political parties, the president and chief, or primarily the political leadership of various political parties, that yes, India is in a position to give a befitting reply to China, and of course the sovereignty and integrity will not be compromised, not even an inch. So this message will be given to various political parties so that all the political parties can be on a similar page when it comes to combat China. Second important part, there are various political parties. They welcome this decision of Prime Minister Narendra Modi to convene an all-party meeting in order to come out with this all-party meeting. One more important and significant point is that there are various political parties, leaders and chief, they have reacted or tweeted as of now. They are clearly saying that they are with Indian Army, they are with the Indian government, they are with Prime Minister Modi when it comes about the national security, the integrity and sovereignty of our country. So they are with the government when it comes to sovereignty, integrity of our country is concerned. And of course, what can we expect? That, well, it is very much likely that Prime Minister Narendra Modi will apprise these political parties about the situation at the LAC. Second important part, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will also take suggestions, but most importantly, he'll try to assure all the political parties. There are various political parties who have reacted as of now. They have said that they'll also be coming out with various suggestions that how to deal with China. As of now, they'll be coming out with their proposals as far as dealing with China and about the situation at the LAC. But yes, it's a crucial meeting. The way Prime Minister Narendra Modi has assured 130 crore Indians day before yesterday that India will give a befitting reply to China. The sovereignty and integrity will not be compromised. And yes, the sacrifices made by our Jawans will not go in vain. In a similar way, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be assuring this political leadership of various political parties. But our sources are telling us, Rukma, at this point in time, that more than 15 political parties, their chief or the presidents will be attending this all-party meeting, and all the political parties having more than 5 MPs of representation, they'll be a part of this meeting. Defense Minister Rajnath Singh has already, have made a call to the leaders or the chief of these political parties and apprised about the situation, that what kind of or what will be the broad contours of this meeting. So yes, we can expect a lot as far as this meeting is concerned, and this gives a sense to the entire world that yes, India is united as far as the situation of LAC is concerned. All the political parties are together in this moment when there are clashes or the situation is intensified when we talk about LAC. Rukma.
Right, Arun, thanks so much for joining us there and for your inputs. And you keep your eyes on that story. We'll be back with you later in the day for more. And Prime Minister Modi will launch a massive rural public works scheme, Garib Kalyan Rozgar Abhiyan, to empower and provide livelihood opportunities to returning migrant workers and rural citizens on the 20th of June through video conference. The Abhiyan will be launched from village Telihar, block Beldor of Khagaria district of Bihar. The villages across 116 districts in 6 selected states will join the program through the common service centers and Krishi Vigyan Kendras. This campaign of 125 days, which will work in mission mode, will involve intensified and focused implementation of 25 different types of work to provide employment to the migrant workers. Focus will be on creating infrastructure in the rural regions of the country with a resource envelope of 50,000 crore rupees. A total of 116 districts with more than 25,000 returning migrant workers across 6 states, namely Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Jharkhand and Odisha, have been chosen for the campaign. These districts are estimated to cover about 2/3 of such migrant workers. The Prime Minister addressed the birth centenary celebrations of Acharya Shri Mahapragya today. Acharya Shri Mahapragya was the 10th head of the Svetambar Therapant order of Jainism.
उनका ये मंत्र था, स्वस्थ व्यक्ति, स्वस्थ समाज, स्वस्थ अर्थव्यवस्था। आज की परिस्थिति में उनका ये मंत्र हम सबके लिए बहुत बड़ी प्रेरणा है। आज देश इसी मंत्र के साथ आत्मनिर्भर भारत के संकल्प के साथ आगे बढ़ रहा है। मुझे विश्वास है, जिस समाज और राष्ट्र का आदर्श हमारे ऋषियों, संत आत्माओं ने हमारे सामने रखा है, हमारा देश जल्द ही उस संकल्प को सिद्ध करेगा। आप सब उस सपने को साकार करेंगे।
The Prime Minister further said that Acharya Sri Mahapragya had taught people the art of a depression-free lifestyle through yoga. He said that it is a beautiful coincidence that International Yoga Day is on the 21st of June and that we can pay Acharya Sri a tribute by practicing what he taught.
वो कहते थे, आत्मा मेरा ईश्वर है, आत्मा मेरा ईश्वर है, त्याग मेरी प्रार्थना है, मैत्री मेरी भक्ति है, संयम मेरी शक्ति है और अहिंसा मेरा धर्म है। इस जीवन शैली को उन्होंने खुद भी जिया और लाखों करोड़ों लोगों को भी सिखाया। योग के माध्यम से लाखों करोड़ों लोगों को उन्होंने डिप्रेशन फ्री लाइफ की कला सिखाई। ये भी एक सुखद संयोग है कि एक दिन बाद ही अंतर्राष्ट्रीय योग दिवस भी है। हमारे लिए ये भी एक अवसर होगा कि हम सब सुखी परिवार और समृद्ध राष्ट्र जो महाप्रज्ञ जी के स्वप्न को साकार करने में हम सब मिलकर के योगदान दें।
And well, we now, as we were telling you earlier, there's been a major breakthrough for security forces in Jammu and Kashmir. 8 terrorists killed. Let's listen in to that press conference with more details.
2 different operations. I must specifically make a mention of the one in which we neutralized 3 terrorists, which was next to the mosque. Extreme restraint was exercised by the security forces to ensure that no damage was caused to the structure. I must also make a mention here that with every operation that is being concluded, we are moving on the path of peace. I can feel it on ground. There is a palpable difference that at the end of every operation, the next operation is taking place under much cleaner circumstances, if you can put it. And for this, I would also compliment the Awam of Kashmir, because they are believing in peace, and it is their belief in peace which is leading to these successful operations. And I'm sure at the end of the next few months, we will be able to take this peace process forward and ensure that normalcy is brought into the environment. In the last few months, in fact beginning of this year, we have had almost 102 terrorists neutralized, and because of the professional manner in which these operations have been conducted, we have had just 1 or 2 civilian casualties, which means that the security forces have exercised extraordinary restraint, and that is because we want to retain that connect with the Awam. And I would like to commit here that all of us will continue to conduct our operations in a manner where we cause minimal inconvenience to the environment. Another important message I want to give here is that of the 49 new recruits who got enrolled into the rank of terrorist tanzeems, 27 have been neutralized. I would like to say here that it doesn't give us any pleasure to neutralize these young boys. But if anybody takes up arms and is causing harm to others, we will do what we are doing. But to stop this whole process, a large number of steps are being taken. Before the operations actually get implemented, we are making further appeals to the militants to surrender. We have had limited success on this front, but where we have been very successful, and I must compliment the security forces here, is our ability to prevent new recruitment as well as to identify those people who are on the cusp of recruitment. We have been successful here. So my appeal to all the people in the environment, please look out for any signs of people wanting to join tanzeems. Come to us for help. We will ensure that these people are appropriately taken care of, are rehabilitated, and no harm comes to them. The youth of the valley have much brighter future than joining terrorist tanzeems. In the end, I would like to assure everybody that the situation on the line of control and in the hinterland is stable. We will ensure that there will be no misadventure, both from outside of the line of control as well as within the valley, and will ensure that the situation is kept more normal, and the people of the valley will be able to go about their job in the most normal manner. Thank you.
Our friend, as the Corps Commander has said, our mission is to stabilize peace in JK. And we are continuously working towards that end. You all are aware that during this year, a very large number of successful operations have been carried out. And most of these operations have been very, very clean, with the least collateral damage, for which I would like to compliment our field formations and field officers who are physically present on ground while the operations are being carried out. I would again reiterate what the GOC said. This gives us no pleasure. Neutralizing a terrorist doesn't bring much happiness to anybody here, neither to us, nor to his family, nor to his friends, nor to the civil society perhaps. But the fact that the person with a gun is a threat to everybody, and the fact that there have been a very large number of civilian killings and attacks on security establishment, security forces, we can't ignore this threat. So therefore, we have to take the required action which we have been taking, and will continue to do that. I'm happy to say that new recruitment has come down drastically. And it has come down because of a joint effort by the civil society, by the parents, by the police officers on ground who maintain a very close liaison with the people whose wards are likely to drift away. We take many preventive actions, preemptive actions, which are not brought to fore deliberately, just to ensure the security of the youth concerned, the boy concerned. But let me assure you that the number of such youth is quite sizable, who are almost at the brink of going away, but we were able to get them back to their families. So that's a great achievement, hidden, of course, from your open press conferences, but informally, many of you also know that that is happening, and that's happening with the full involvement of the police and the security forces on ground. 2 operations in the last 24 hours, very clean, very neat operations, int-based, specific, no collateral damage, and above all, which is a matter of great satisfaction for us, is at Mies, Pampo, local Jamia mosque was used by the terrorists. They ran away from the target house and entered the mosque. But our field commanders on ground exercised lots of restraint. We continued to keep that area in a cordon and use slightly different tactics and ways to handle this operation. And I'm happy to report that by this morning this operation was over, and you only would all be agreeing with us that the kind of thanksgiving which came from the people, I've seen a couple of videos coming from the people themselves, that the police and the forces have conducted this operation in an extremely professional manner way, and even the minutest loss, damage to the mosque have been prevented. It goes to the credit of our field commanders and our members of the force working on ground, who despite provocations are always ready to exercise as much restraint as possible. In fact, I complimented the team for this beautiful execution of the operation without any loss, and I expressed my happiness in people's satisfaction after the operation that this operation was conducted very, very professionally by the security forces, security team on ground. Similarly, Shopian operation was also a clean operation. These groups belong to HM and LET. Identifications and all would follow later, but as of now, 8 of them who were threat to the civil society, day in and day out, was harassing people, causing physical loss to them, have met their end, which of course, as I said, does not bring happiness, but then it's a step forward to further stabilizing peace in this region, which has been troubled for very, very long. During the last about 5.5 months, 100 plus terrorists have been neutralized. 50 plus of them are from Hizbul Mujahideen. Around 20 of them Lashkar-e-Tauba. 20 of them from Jaish-e-Mohammed. And the rest are from smaller outfits like Al-Badr, AGH, etc., etc. Similarly, Jammu region also have conducted number of successful operations, around half a dozen of them, in which around dozen terrorists have been neutralized in Jammu region also. Our Pir Panjal range is very well under control. Doda Kishtwar range is almost now nearing to be militancy free, with 1 terrorist remaining in Doda district and 3 of them in Kishtwar. We are conscious of the fact that our neighbor and agencies which are there to perpetuate violence in this region are making efforts to infiltrate, send in more numbers of terrorists from various sectors. We have been adequately responding to that threat. You are aware of Keren sector, where 5 of them were neutralized. Recently, you know of Nowshera sector in Rajouri, where 3 plus 1, 4 of them were neutralized. And you also know a group of terrorists which came from IED and was subsequently neutralized at Nagrota, Jammu. So our highway grades, our border grades are fully alert. We are in position to take care of any emerging challenge anywhere, and we would definitely be on the side of our people. They've been very cooperative. They have extended all kinds of cooperation. It gives me immense pleasure to say that the last full year and about 5.5 months of this year have been one of the most peaceful months that we had in terms of handling law and order in general and the law and order situations around the operation sites. That has happened only because people are cooperating. I would also like to compliment our youth if they are not drifting away, if they're not joining terrorist ranks, despite huge provocation on daily basis by Pakistan and its agencies involved in the terror business, credit goes to our youth. They have perhaps started seeing through the game plans of these agencies, which have brought violence, death, destruction to this beautiful place. So my compliments to the youth who, despite provocations, are moving on the path of peace. We would also like to help and assist those who have gone adrift, as we have done in case of some people whose names and all I'm not disclosing, but we are ready to do it for others also. Anybody who's gone adrift, willing to surrender, come out, hand over his weapon, maybe confidentially, we would welcome that, and we would make sure that we provide him with whatever support he needs to lead a new peaceful life. Thank you very much.
Well, you were watching that live telecast of the press conference as there's been a major breakthrough for security forces in Jammu and Kashmir. 8 terrorists killed in the last 24 hours in southern region of Kashmir. 2 terrorists trapped in a mosque at Meej in Pampore have been killed, and 5 terrorists killed in Shopia. And as the army said, every operation is one step closer to peace. That's all we have time for in this edition of the news. Namaskar.